Alright, Shalom Akim. I like to say Kahalayim, Wahawadla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Right, double honest the apostles, and elders of great mills do not rule well. Peace and blessing to the Akim around the world. I push this through to the four corners of the earth. Right, this year above from the GMS Trinidad's camp. You know. So I'll touch, I'll entitle it Plagues and Earthquakes Increasing. Right? Because since the year prophecy, as the apostle Taha deem it to be the year prophecy 2020. Since the year kickoff, we see what? We're seeing things like stronger rumors of war. You understand? Even bombing each other. You understand? We saw the plague, which is the coronavirus in China. We saw the earthquakes in Puerto Rico. Right? I think they had by now is over 1,000 earthquakes that they had in the space of a month. And now another earthquake somewhere between, I believe it is Jamaica and Colombia. Either Colombia or Cuba, one of the both of them. But between that and Jamaica, right, it had a 7. This article saying a 7.3. I saw another video saying it was a 7.7, but we know it was in the 7 region. Right, it's an update. The United States Geological Survey is reporting that a 7.3 earthquake struck at 2:10 p.m. That was today, right? It's in northwest of Lucia and Jamaica, right? It's the earthquake measured 7.3 according to the United States Geological Survey. It said affected Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, the Bahamas, Cuba, and Honduras. Right? I was going to say that update 7.7. Right? Yeah, so it was the saying 7.3 and then it went to 7. Then the corrected and said 7.7. But it's showing you how things, things being heated up. And right now we're still in the month of January. You understand? Imagine when February, March, and the other months of the year start coming along. Imagine the things that we might be seeing. Because the Lord bringing what? Famine, earthquakes, plagues. I was saying about the a swarm of locusts in another country that ate up a lot of the crops. Right, Matthew 24, verse 6, right? They're basic scriptures, but I'll read it over. It say, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? These things are just symptoms of the end. Right? It's still are things like the RFID chip to be put in place, actual war to kick off. It say, for nation shall rise against nation, we see in that in these times, and kingdom against kingdom, there shall be famines. We see in that right now. I think it's a lake somewhere in one of those Hamite regions. I don't know if it's Kenya or wherever. They had a river that are accustomed to flowing and being bountiful. The river dried up. Right now, a lot of people down there, that cattle dying from lack of water. They can't be able to produce certain things. I think they said that the river is usually sustained, I think, up to about 50,000 people, and the river dried up. Right? We're seeing all these things happening in small ways for now, until it become drastic, more coming closer to the end. You see, there shall be famine and pestilences, plagues, as we see it now, corona. Before that, it was Ebola. Just the other day, they was talking about a new strand of the HIV. And this is just the beginning. We might see even more and worse to come out soon. Right? It say, and earthquakes, which we just read. Right? In the space of 1 month, Puerto Rico had over 1,000. And now we're seeing one between Jamaica and one of those Hispanic countries. And it's a 7.7. Right? It's saying diverse places. It's all these things are the beginning of sorrows, right? I'll get our next video.
These are the official checkpoints.
从哪来的呀？
Hebei province, which surrounds Beijing. Everyone coming in is screened.
好，慢点啊，慢点。
But then there are the unofficial checkpoints. Village after village here is sealing itself off against the coronavirus. The handwritten signs say, no outsiders allowed in.
The scriptures talk about, I say, a man shall desire to go into a city and would not be able. You understand? It have many ways that could come about. It could be by martial law, but it could also be through things like this. You know, people actually cutting you off from entrance. These prophecies will happen in very multiple ways, but also in very terrible ways. And very soon it's going to have a time where it's called Carnival down here. We're going to have a lot of people from foreign regions coming to here to enjoy the festival. And when that time comes,
other places have taken more structural measures, literally walling themselves in.
这个墙是你们村盖吗？
对我们村盖的，就是不叫外人来回流动，流动人口减少了。
This is the screening checkpoint a street along. Residents aren't doing this on government orders, but off their own bat, trying to protect their home, whatever else is happening in the outside world. We're 600 miles away from Wuhan here, but this village is taking matters into their own hands. They are distrustful and they fear coronavirus. All across China, communities are sealing themselves off. They're scared because the death toll is now more than 100, with more than 4,500 confirmed cases of novel coronavirus. The vast majority are in Hubei province, where the military have been drafted in. And a public information campaign has started, with adverts playing across 50 Chinese cities. In Wuhan, in the night, the cry went up. Wuhan, add oil. It means keep going, hang tough. A cry of solidarity shouted out the window, in a city sealed off not to stop the virus getting in, but to stop it getting out. Elsewhere, they're retreating. In another fortified village in Hebei, residents were installing this porta cabin as a guardhouse.
随着疫情发展，这现在没有这个出台这个政策，或者是谁觉得疫情往以后发展到怎么程度啊？
The central government has called for national unity in this crisis. Instead, people are bunkering down, breaking their bonds with the outside world and with each other.
Because Koreans on the whole never even liked each other. It had certain regions that used to be against other regions and so forth. They were kind of divided amongst each other. So imagine now, as it actually have that virus, it'll be even more separate from each other. And this is just the beginning that the scriptures talk about. And we hope to see much more until we get to leave this place. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will.